everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SummerSlam Predict the Outcome, where we predict SummerSlam match previews and predictions and what the outcomes could be for tonight's SummerSlam. Plus, outside of WWE, where WWE has SummerSlam, is another big scene in wrestling. As CM Punk, yes, you heard what I said, CM Punk has debuted for All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk was the anticipated debut. He debuted on AEW Rampage. We'll get to the latest in his hometown, what CM Punk agenda is in AEW, and what's going forward with CM Punk joining All Elite Wrestling. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, Predict the Outcome for WWE SummerSlam 2021. I'm your host as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. The excitement is in the air. Thank you all. Pro Wrestling matters, and really this week Pro Wrestling really did matter, and we thank you for joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Show as we gear you up, get you ready for SummerSlam tonight. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget, do not forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. What a strong card SummerSlam has tonight. Tonight's SummerSlam is filled with a long card. The longest card in SummerSlam history with 10 matches. You have at least 6 championship matches, and the rest are grudge matches as well. Man. Plus, also, too, in Hot Topics, we'll get to the latest on CM Punk, the latest acquisition to All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk finally made a jump to return to wrestling in a 7-year absence. And CM Punk did so in a grand fashion in Chicago. We'll get to that later on the show. But first thing, let's get to Predict the Outcome for WWE SummerSlam. All right. Tonight will be the night for SummerSlam. Let's get started with, I believe, will be the opening match at SummerSlam, where the WWE Championship is on the line as Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, defends the WWE Championship against the intense Goldberg. Goldberg with the intensity. Goldberg, known for quick, short matches. Now Goldberg goes one-on-one against Bobby Lashley, who is equally fair in size and strength as Goldberg. Now these two big behemoths clash at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. Well, all this was personal when Bobby Lashley, MVP, decided to make it a little bit more personal by involving Goldberg's son, Cage. Goldberg didn't like that, and Goldberg said it got personal. It ain't no championship match. But it's a championship match, and it's personal. So, a lot of people saying, could Goldberg defeat the Almighty Bobby Lashley, who's been on a red-hot streak since winning the championship back in March? Well, to Goldberg's domain, I believe Bobby Lashley will retain his WWE Championship and move on to the next challenger. I believe Big E might be in the wings to cash in that Money Back briefcase to get revenge for Kofi. Look for that. Also, too, the Usos defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Mysterios. We know Ray and Dominic had friction as late, but they're trying to get it together and keep it together, where Dominic and Ray trying to regain the tag team titles they once had. The Usos been looking strong as a strong tag team. So could the Uso brothers continue that momentum like they did on SmackDown yesterday, head into SummerSlam tonight? So look for the Usos to retain their titles and move on to the next. Maybe the Street Profits might be next in line. I think Montez Ford had that Muhammad Ali look he's trying to go for. But anyway, look for Ray and Dominic to explode somewhere down the road. Might not be at SummerSlam, but it might be on an episode of SmackDown where Dominic is sick and tired Ray chastising him about his performance. So look for that. Also, too, I believe is a sleeper match, an incredible match that's really gonna be it's gonna be bell to bell. Sheamus defends the United States Championship against Damian Priest. Damian Priest has been red hot ever since teaming up with Bad Bunny in the match at WrestleMania. Damian Priest now has this momentum now to win the United States Championship in front of 40,000 people in Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. Can Damian Priest get the job done? Or will Sheamus continue to win with his cheating ways after he won the championship at WrestleMania over Riddle? So look for Damian Priest to become the new United States champion. Also, too, another match that people are talking about. Alexa Bliss goes one-on-one against Eva Marie. Eva Marie been trying to say it's all about her, even adding an addition of Dewdrop. Now the time is done, as Eva Marie now must go against the demonic Alexa Bliss with Lily in her corner. Well, we don't know what Lily's role is going to be at SummerSlam, but I got a hunch that Lily's going to play some part at SummerSlam with this match between Bliss and Eva Marie. Eva Marie can't use Dewdrop in the match. She has to use her own wrestling ability, and Eva Marie has not been wrestling in a good taste. But hey, we'll see at SummerSlam between them. But give it to Alexa Bliss with the help of Lily. Lily gonna do something supernatural. I don't know if Dewdrop gonna turn to Lily. I don't know. Only time will tell in that one. And Jinder Mahal looks for another match at SummerSlam where he goes against his former teammate Drew McIntyre. Sorry, I got flubbed. Drew McIntyre one-on-one. These two former WWE champions battling out to settle the score. As Drew McIntyre stole after Jinder Mahal stole Drew McIntyre's sword that he's named after his mother, Angela. Now Drew McIntyre looking to get revenge and not having Jinder put all the obstacles in his way with his henchmen. Now Jinder gets a one-on-one match against Drew. It's going to be heads-on between these two former WWE champions. Look for, I want to say, Jinder to win the match. Jinder needs this more than Drew. Drew can continue on that story with Jinder going on forward to continue their program. So look for Jinder Mahal to cheat his way to win at SummerSlam. All right, that ends the first half of SummerSlam. When we return, we'll have the second half. But coming up, we talk about hot topics. As a big name, CM Punk returns to wrestling. He's not coming back to WWE. He returns to WWE's competition now. And would AEW give WWE serious competition with CM Punk added to addition and many other news stories of the week. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show returns after this. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, SummerSlam Predict the Outcome special. We'll get to SummerSlam later with the second half. But coming up right now is Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics this week, we talk about the return of the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk. CM Punk is back. CM Punk stated he is back. The highly anticipated return of CM Punk. He makes his debut in All Elite Wrestling on Friday night on Rampage. It was the opening segment of the show. And CM Punk had a lot to say. He didn't say too much negative about WWE. He came a little bit, but he said when he was in Ring of Honor, he was sad because he had to leave wrestling. Now he's back in pro wrestling, and he's back in control. And CM Punk, it feels good, feels so right. He's back in wrestling. So CM Punk, now a member of All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk now issued the challenge to Darby Allin, who was up in the stands and in the bleachers, and issued Darby Allin a match at All Out. So Darby Allin will meet CM Punk one-on-one. CM Punk's first debut match on AEW will take place at All Out in Chicago. So it was a good hometown crowd, hometown feel. A lot of people was happy, elated. I know my sister, she was kind of happy, elated. She's a big CM Punk fan. She was so happy that CM Punk is back in wrestling and doing what he loves to do. And now we know his agenda. He's here to be CM Punk again and be who he was. He got to wonder what WWE was thinking when CM Punk returned. But CM Punk signed a multi-year deal, so it's all looking good in the cards for CM Punk returning back to what he loves doing. Now there's been reports that Daniel Bryanson could be returning, reportedly, could make his debut in AEW very soon for the Grand Slam show next month when the AEW comes to New York. So AEW just breaking records. And AEW kind of, when WWE was talking about it, they don't look at AEW as competition. You kind of need to think they need to look at them as competition because competition is good. Competition is great. It keeps people in the business. Like if one company doesn't fit your boat, go to another one. So it kind of keeps everything together. So congratulations to CM Punk making his return to wrestling and joining AEW as well. Also, too, another WWE vet like CM Punk that now in AEW, Christian. Christian last week was on the debut episode of Rampage. Christian defeated Kenny Omega for the Impact World title. Christian will get another championship match against Omega, but this time be for the AEW title at All Out. Kenny Omega made it clear that he's going to retire Christian and what brought him back 7 years ago. Well, Christian making news also that Christian retired the TNA title. So Christian, that makes sense because it ain't used with Impact Wrestling. So go with Impact Wrestling. Christian retired the TNA title. He said TNA is dead, is undone in the past. Let's move forward with Impact now. So Christian retiring the TNA title. Sorry, not the Impact title. He is the Impact champion. Christian got a lot of newcomers coming for his belt. Also, too, WWE held tryouts in Las Vegas during their SummerSlam week. WWE signed a lot of people, notably Faith Jeffries. So WWE is making moves to bring in the next superstars with the tryouts and stuff. Okay. Also, too, free agent Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard could possibly go to WWE one day or could possibly go to AEW one day. They're saying she's in talks with the NWA, which that's kind of weird. I guess Tessa Blanchard don't really have nobody to court her. WWE or AEW. AEW probably need her more than WWE. But Tessa Blanchard is in talks with the NWA. She had talks, but we don't know when those talks are going to conclude more right during this pandemic. You can recall Tessa Blanchard is the first women's world heavyweight champion in Impact, and that went okay, and then it went south out of nowhere. So let's see what's going on with that. Also, too, MLW postponed their War Chamber event until 2022. So MLW was supposed to do War Chamber with 50 Tom Lawler and his team will go against the Von Erichs and their team. That's not going to happen anytime soon, but we'll see what goes forward with that. Also, too, AEW Dynamite, we talked about the Grand Slam where Daniel Bryan could be making his debut very soon in the New York area. They said they're close to be sold out. So, man, sold out ticket. You know how they go. Sold out. Close to be sold out. I wouldn't be surprised like last night. It was with CM Punk debut. Everybody stood, the fans just stood up. So, like I said, that power, that momentum, that platform, I guess you don't need a WWE. You can be bigger than WWE for a minute. Junior. Also, too, Asuka. Where is Asuka, the Empress Tomorrow, the former multi-time champion, hasn't been seen in WWE ever since June. They're saying Asuka, they don't have nothing for us, but they're going to keep in mind with Asuka for another storyline. So Asuka's on the waiting side, waiting to be called. So there they go. Also, too, Buddy Murphy revealed he has a new ring name. So Buddy Murphy coming back soon. I think he did like Malachi Black, like being in a prison, like they saying WWE's a prison for him. Okay, with these prison talk. It's like prison break. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Buddy Murphy, will he land in Impact? Will he land in AEW? Will he land in MLW? Will he land in NWA? We never know. Only time will tell with Buddy Murphy. All right, that ends Wrestling Hot Topics. I mean, it was a phenomenal Wrestling Hot Topics to talk about. Let's move back to the predicted outcome for the second half of the SummerSlam preview right now. All right, speaking of that, the Raw Women's Championship is on the line as new champion Nikki Ash, who won the Raw Women's Championship a day before winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, which that was the most brilliant Money in the Bank briefcase where all the women was distracted. Nikki Ash came out of nowhere and took the briefcase, and then next day she defeats Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title, and Charlotte has been cashed on many times with Carmella, Nikki Ash, and Bayley. So Charlotte knows the thing too about Money in the Bank briefcases coming her way when she's champion, but she got to watch out for that. Well, Charlotte gets another shot and opportunity along with Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title. And a lot of people saying, does Charlotte wants her scrap back? Does Charlotte wants the belt back? Or do Rhea Ripley wants the belt back? Or do Nikki Ash? What's going to happen with that? Well, the possibilities are endless. Even talk that Becky Lynch might return in the middle of that match and cause ruckus for Charlotte. So look for Charlotte Flair to regain the Raw Women's Championship and maybe start a program with Becky Lynch heading forward. Also, too, the match that everyone's been talking about, the match that I want to see most, Edge versus Seth Rollins. This match has boiled in between for the past 7 years. If you recall, when Seth Rollins was part of the Authority and he was feuding with John Cena, Edge was guest host. Seth Rollins used Edge while at the time Big Show was at WWE. Big Show tried to heel Edge down, and Seth Rollins was going to threaten to break Edge's neck. Well, minus him not having no feeling, not holding his daughter. Well, Edge haven't forgot one bit. Edge want that revenge back on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins want that opportunity as well. Seth Rollins even cost Edge an opportunity to become Universal Champion last month in the Money in the Bank event. Well, now things are getting even and getting personal. Even this past yesterday, when Seth Rollins was speaking, Edge was speaking as well before the beginning of the show. Edge said that he's going to burn Seth Rollins down. He burned him down later on the show on SmackDown when Seth Rollins was speaking. And Edge came out of nowhere with some rude music. I thought it was The Fiend. I said, oh God, The Fiend's back? No, it wasn't that. Edge came out with the rude music. Edge dumped a pile of blood onto Seth Rollins, covering Seth Rollins with blood, making Seth Rollins even madder and angrier and bitter. Now these two will finally fight at SummerSlam between them. So the match will be awesome and amazing. Who needs it the most? Do Edge needs it or do Seth Rollins need it? I believe Seth Rollins will win and Seth Rollins will win. Edge and Seth Rollins will probably have their program continue, but Seth Rollins needs this one because he has something to prove against Edge. So look for Seth Rollins to win that one. Also, too, the Raw Tag Team Championships are online as AJ Styles almost take on the popular, beyond belief, RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle. Randy Orton and Riddle first started wrestling each other, and there was a mutual respect from each other. Now Randy Orton and Riddle find themselves into the World Tag Team Championships of Raw. Could Randy Orton and Riddle be a collective team and work together? What Riddle wants them to do, work together and be a collective team after being teased. Now they're together. AJ Styles and Almost now kind of working as a strong unit, winning the tag team titles from the New Day at WrestleMania. Now it's going to be come to a head. Look for RK Bro to win the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. And it's going to be celebration indeed. Celebration that many people would never thought. Also, too, the SmackDown Women's Championship is online as champion Bianca Belair takes on Sasha Banks. This is the match that many people are talking about. This is a WrestleMania rematch where Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble, challenged Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. She won, in the historic WrestleMania match between two phenomenal African-American females. Now, Sasha Banks came back. We thought Sasha Banks was going to help Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, she knew better. Bianca Belair got attacked by Sasha Banks. Now it is personal between the two women. Now, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are making it personal, and it's for the championship that Sasha thinks that Bianca is not deserving to. Look for Bianca Belair to defeat Sasha Banks over the championship and continue their program heading towards the next couple of months. And finally, the main event of SummerSlam will be for the Universal Championship on SmackDown, where champion Roman Reigns, the dominant Roman Reigns, who's been continuing to look strong, been look dominant, he goes against the returning John Cena. All this started Money in the Bank when Roman Reigns defeated Edge to retain his Universal Championship. John Cena came out of nowhere and upshined Roman Reigns, stole the spotlight. Roman didn't like that one bit. Now it's been word of words, with Roman using terms as missionary, saying by John Cena about the folks are tired of seeing him. And John Cena saying that Roman Reigns feel like he's protected, he's guarded, and he needs to be embarrassed. Well, this come to a head at SummerSlam between the two WWE greats. The current face of WWE, Roman Reigns, versus the former face of WWE, John Cena. It's a battle that we saw before with Roman during the time the first encounter seemed like he wasn't ready, but now he's ready. So look for this match to come to a head now with most stakes at SummerSlam in Vegas, saying that John Cena wins the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns says he will leave WWE and he will leave in disgrace and embarrassment. So John Cena said all he needs is 1, 2, 3. He did so by rolling up Roman with a roll-up schoolboy and thought the 1, 2, 3 was an impromptu, saying that he can do it at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns will do what he said he would do. He's going to be a savage and look dominant. But then there's another factor. As John Cena is a 16-time world champion, and could WWE be shady and be spiteful to make John Cena the world champion once again to break Ric Flair's record of 17 times? Look for Roman Reigns to smash, dominate John Cena, and send him back home to Hollywood, as he should have been with those movies, the Suicide Squad, the Fast 9, and some other movie he started with, Derail, and another movie. John Cena got a lot on his plate. He's going to have to do a Hollywood schedule. So look for Roman Reigns sending John Cena back packing to Hollywood. Roman Reigns will win and retain the Universal Champion, and he won't be leaving WWE anytime soon. All right, y'all. Thank you all for watching this edition, the special edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for SummerSlam. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying we're going to be watching SummerSlam tonight on Peacock, live from Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. We hope to see you there. We'll see you at SummerSlam.